Hey, what's up YouTube? I'm the Smartphone Guy coming back at you with another video, and tonight I want to talk about this guy right here. This is the DJI Mavic Air, and obviously it's a little bit different for this channel, so I want to go ahead and talk about, first of all, number one, why did I buy the Mavic Air? Well, I've always been kind of a drone enthusiast, but mostly one that didn't have a whole lot of money to spend on a really nice drone. So in the past I've had some toy drones. I even bought a Unique Breeze at one point, so that's kind of a selfie drone. It's a pretty nice one, but definitely nothing compared to the Mavic Air. So why did I wait until the Mavic Air? So the Mavic Pro came out, the DJI Spark came out, and I passed on both of those. Now honestly, right now, if you're thinking about buying a DJI Spark, I would say right now is the time to do that, because that one has become crazy cheap. $349 for that one. That's for just the drone, and you have to control it with your cell phone. I don't recommend doing that. I definitely recommend getting the Fly More package for the Spark if you're thinking about getting that one, mainly because then it comes with a controller, and that's really important, I think, in order to get the, to actually enjoy the drone, you really need the controller. Not that you can't use it without it, but to get the full usage out of it, you definitely need the controller, in my opinion. So I went ahead and I picked up the Fly More combo of the DJI Mavic Air. You can see that obviously I got the red one. I picked mine up from Newegg.com. In retrospect, I probably would have picked it up from Amazon, mainly because of the 30-day return policy. Now that I've been using this for about 30 days now, there is zero chance that I will be returning it because, spoiler alert, I love this thing. I've had so much fun with it. In fact, my wife is kind of worried that I spend a little too much time with the Mavic Air now that I have it. So I just want to go ahead and talk about real quick some of the kind of basics of the Mavic Air. Number one, it's very small. Obviously you've probably seen by now that it does fold up very, very small. So it ends up being about the size of a really thick cell phone, but the actual drone itself ends up being about the size of a cell phone when you fold it up, and obviously it fits nicely into this case. Now, just kind of a word of advice from one beginner, and if you're watching this, maybe you're a beginner with drones as well, but one word of advice is that when you put it in, you want to make sure you put it in the right way, because I actually put it in the wrong way one time and ended up bending up my blades. So these right here are two blades that I can no longer use. So thank goodness I got the Fly More combo, because it comes, I think, with 8 extra blades in it. So I've already had to replace 2 of them. Super easy to do. So definitely recommend getting, number one, the Fly More combo. That's going to be key. But then yeah, just make sure that you actually put it in this case properly when you do. So I do really like the case. One thing that I would change about it, so you can see it just kind of has this little flap here on the back, not really useful for a whole lot there, but then the case basically just fits the Mavic Air really nice and snug. So I really wish there was some kind of handle on it. So it does have this little thing right here, but it'd be nice to have a handle on that. Now, another thing that another slight complaint about the Fly More combo that it comes with is this is the bag it comes with. So the bag nicely fits, obviously, the controller. So here is the controller. Now it's all folded up right now, so we can pull out the antennas here. We can pull out the bottom pieces. So this is where your cell phone's going to sit. Now, I've been using it with my iPhone 8 Plus. Works great with that up to this point, but it does come with cords, so you can use it with an Android device. So it comes with a micro USB cable and also a Type-C cable. So basically that just fits right over here, and then your phone's going to plug in down on this side of the remote controller, the controller here. So I've been using it with my iPhone 8 Plus. I've had really good range up to this point. I personally have not flown it nearly as far as what they say it can go. So they say it can go up to 4 kilometers. So obviously one disadvantage of the Mavic Air over something like the Mavic Pro is the fact that you're not going to get as far of a distance with it. You can get up to 7 kilometers, I believe, with the Mavic Pro. But to be honest with you, I don't see a reason, number one, why you would do that, and I don't know that it's even, I mean, you have to keep the drone legally within your range or sight, line of sight, and so I don't know how you can possibly see that far away to be flying it that far. So maybe I'm a newbie, I don't know. But personally, I don't see a reason to actually fly that far away. For me personally, I've got about a half-mile away comfortably, and honestly, I felt kind of uncomfortable at half a mile. Now, the range on it, I had no problem. It wasn't even close to being as far as the range would go. I had really good signal I was using, so it uses 2.4 gigahertz or 5.8. I've pretty much stuck on 2.4. I haven't had any issues with that. I wasn't even close to the range that I could get away from the controller. It's just at that point I can't control where the birds are flying. It's spring, you know, a lot of birds are coming out right now, and I'm worried about actually losing my $1,000 investment. So I'm not willing to fly it that far away. As far as height, legally you can only fly, my understanding is 400 feet in the air. So I've flown at 330 feet, but obviously you can go a lot higher with that. But again, it's kind of a situation where I didn't really feel comfortable going any higher than that. So as far as the camera goes, so we have a 3-axis gimbal on this thing. So that 3-axis gimbal allows it to just take really clear footage. The time when I would say it doesn't take clear footage is when you're going side to side. I've noticed that it's kind of choppy. Now obviously you could slow down your turn if you want to. It's just hard to make that control. So if you're trying to get really good footage and you're going sideways like this, I've found that it doesn't really make that turn nearly as well as it does like going up and down and other movements. It handles really well. As far as handling wind, I've took it out and I think it was like 20-mile-an-hour winds, maybe even 25-mile-an-hour gusts, and it had no issues. I mean, obviously it's fighting against the wind, but it did really well. As far as onboard storage, this actually I think is the first DJI drone with onboard storage. So it comes with 8 gigs of onboard storage. You're going to fill it up really fast if you're using 4K at 30 frames per second, which is what I was using for quite a while there. You can of course shoot in 1080p up to 120 frames per second for slow-mo, or 60 frames per second, and then you can go down to 24 frames per second at 1080p. But either way, footage so far, I'll be honest with you, not as good as I was expecting compared to what I see other people shooting with their drones. I'm definitely not getting as good of footage, but part of that is just being a newbie, and I'm not really a photographer, and so I haven't done any color grading. I've been just kind of playing it by ear, just kind of watching a few videos to get a little bit of helpful hints as far as getting good video footage. But to be honest with you, up to this point, I like the video footage. I just haven't been super impressed with it up to this point. I think it's very good footage, and you'll see some of it at the end. It's a lot of fun to fly though. So anyways, so that is the actual drone. Obviously it comes with a really nice gimbal cover. So I've seen a lot of people talk about how this gimbal cover is a lot better than what you get in previous Mavics, in previous drones with DJI. Number one is it's just so easy to take on and off. And number two, a great thing about this drone is the fact that it's basically completely protected. The gimbal, or the camera itself, is completely protected when you have it actually folded up or folded out and you're using it. So that's really nice. It's also nice that it has sensors on both the front and the back and on the bottom, so it kind of prevents you from running into things. So you can get to about 6 or 7 feet away from something before it starts warning you that you're getting a little too close. Same thing in the front and the back. Now obviously if you're like going towards a power line, it's not going to be able to see that because obviously a power line is much thinner than like a tree. So you'll want to be careful. It's not stupid proof. It will run into something if you're not being careful with it. It does come with guards. I have not used the guards, honestly. I have not seen a reason to use it. As far as like what I've been using it up to this point, I have only been using it on the regular mode. So there's a beginner mode, which is boring. So I think I used that for about the first minute and quit using that altogether. And since then I've been using it pretty much on regular mode. It gives you all those protections when you're flying the drone, but then when you turn it into sport mode, basically you lose all of those cameras. You're no longer protected. Obviously you're not going to get as good a video footage, but at that point you can go up to like 40 some miles per hour. Now that's kind of like crazy. And for me as a beginner, I haven't flown it yet in sport mode. I will definitely probably use that at some point because I think it's pretty cool that it can fly that fast. But yeah, so not something I've used up to this point. So a couple other things, let me just mention a couple things that I don't like about it. So I've already mentioned one, and that is this case. I wish there was some kind of handle on the case. I know it's kind of stupid. It has nothing to do with the drone, but that would have been nice. Also, this case, the bag that it comes in, or the bag that you put it in, I do have just a slight complaint about that, and that's the fact that basically it just fits all the accessories. So if you get the Fly More combo, it comes with 3 batteries. Each battery gets about 20 minutes, and that's what they claim, and up to this point that's pretty much what I've been getting, and I've been using it pretty heavy. So about 20 minutes, and then it comes with this little charging I guess station is what you want to call it. Now that is another slight complaint, is the fact that it can only charge one at a time, even though they can all be charged or plugged into the station. It's only charging one battery at a time, so obviously that's a lot slower than if they were all charging simultaneously. So that's just a slight complaint about that. But once you put all of the accessories in here that you need for the drone, basically there's no room. I wish there was room for the drone. Like, why not make a bag that fits the drone too? Now it does have some extra space here in the back, but you can't really fit the drone in there. There's a little, pouch up here in the front, but definitely nothing in terms of space there. So it just would have been nice to have like one bag, because now when I take the drone out, obviously I'm going to take a backpack out, but it would have been nice to just be able to take the bag with the drone in its own bag. Like I'm going to have to carry my backpack with me with this bag and the drone case or whatever. So it just would have been nice for like the drone to actually fit in this bag, or this case to fit in the. I just wish that was something they would have thought of when they made this bag. Maybe they did that on purpose. I don't know, but that's just a personal thing. So overall, do I love this this drone? Absolutely. I think it's absolutely fantastic. Would I buy it again? Definitely. I actually, if you're somebody who's looking for an inexpensive drone, or I don't know if you'd call it inexpensive, but the DJI Spark, if you see some of the video footage that people have made with that, I would get the Fly More combo. Obviously, right now you can actually pick up the Fly More combo for like $550, which is really, really good, and that's a fantastic drone. So if you're just somebody who's looking to get started, maybe the Spark would be just fine for you. But I definitely don't regret getting the Mavic Air. I plan on going on some nice road trips this summer. I'm taking my daughter with me. I'm a school teacher, so I get the summers off, and I plan on using this a ton, and we have some beautiful scenery here in Michigan, so I will be using this a lot. But anyways, I hope this has been helpful for you. There's going to be a ton of footage at the end of me using this, and just some of the footage you can see so far that I've been getting. You can kind of be the judge for yourself. I'm like a beginner, so I'm using everything in RAW. I shouldn't say RAW. I'm using everything in auto mode up to this point, so you can obviously get better footage if you're actually knowing what you're doing when it comes to the photography on this. So up to this point, if you're just using it on auto mode and you're where I'm at, you can get a good idea of what the footage will look like. So anyways, thanks for watching. I hope this video has been helpful for you, and I will see you all in the next one. Enjoy the footage. Peace.